حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل ظلما ونورا ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون صلى الله تعالى على رسوله خير محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praises due to Allah, Lord of all the worlds, the most great, the most supreme. He alone is who created for us the heavens and the earth and all that is between. He made the heavens standing firm, without any pillars that you can see. Allah brings the sweet fish from the salt water. Allah changes the day with the night. And Allah is the knower of whatever we hide and what is made manifest. Therefore, we praise Him and seek His aid and His forgiveness. For God is all forgiving, the most merciful of those who show mercy. And we pray that Allah will send blessings upon our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his wives, his progeny, and those of us who have remained loyal in this ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today is Friday, the day of Jummu'ah. In the Quran, Allah says, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. When a call is made to pray on Fridays, leave off your trade and leave off your business and hasten to the remembrance of your Lord. That is best for you if you knew. All praise, therefore, is due to Allah for the opportunity He has given us to be present at the mosque. We pray that Allah will bless you for having obeyed Him. We pray that Allah will strengthen you so that you can obey His other commands. Since Allah has given us a system of life that provides for all our needs, not only in this life, but also in the life of the hereafter. Today I want to address mostly the young people and to remind you that we as Muslims have always had a vision. Allah has shown almost all His prophets visions before they occur. And so we need only to follow the guidance of one of the best human beings that has walked on the face of this earth, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, peace and blessings be upon him, and we will succeed in our lives. Every one of us have some unique skill that we are good at. Every one of us. And we should exploit the possibilities of perfecting that skill that comes naturally to us. There are too many young people who are unskilled, who are unable to do anything with their brains and worse yet with their hands. This week, I have a classic example of having to do a small job, and the people in the community, the young men, said that they want to be employed. Of course, the job did not necessitate much manual labor because it was really mostly tractors. But they said, okay, we will facilitate, since we understand the current economic situation, and we will allow them to cut up the trees that are being felled, thrown down by the tractors and the excavators. They were adamant that they could do the job. We didn't need anybody. We said, well, then we asked them, do you have a chainsaw? No. Do you have a cutlass? No. So how are you going to cut the trees? When the trees are on the ground, you have to cut them up and put them on the tree to take the truck to take them away. How are you going to cut them? And so for us, those of us who are Muslims, we understand that to achieve anything in this life, you have to have two qualities. You have to have the ways, and then you have to have the means. If you have the ways alone and you don't have the means, you cannot accomplish your task. And if you have the means, if you don't have the ways, you will lose your mind. So we need, first of all, the ways and then the means. We provided for them. They insist that they have to work, and although the work does not accommodate too many people, we said, okay, here we're going to lend you 2 of our power saws to cut the wood. They mash up both. They cannot even use a power saw. And so, I want to address you young people today to some foresight, to prepare yourself for the inevitable, what is surely going to happen. And it will require some measure of training. The training is available. So next Friday, inshallah, I will have on the board the respective organizations that you can apply to be trained. We, as a community, we should have the foresight that the other people do not have. And we know for sure, and the data is there, the information is there, that there are a lot of mental problems that are occurring now in homes because of this COVID-19. And the very unusual habit of having to stay in your house and not come out and be unemployed and not be able to feed your children. And then children are not going to school, so there's no school feeding program. All the difficulties and the complications are there. That is going to result in the end, if and when. I said if and when because none of us know when this COVID is going to finish. They have now made these so-called injections. I call them injections deliberately because I'm not sure that the people who I see taking them, I'm not sure that there is a vaccine they're taking. It could be a B complex because it's the same syringe. It could be anything. The largest pharmaceutical company in the world is Pfizer. And the next to Pfizer is Bayer. And I have not seen no member of Pfizer and no member of Bayer taking this so-called vaccine. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, led by example. And so, if they are making this vaccine, they should ensure that if they want the confidence of the people, they should themselves take it first and let the people see, well, this is our confidence level, this is going to work, and they take it first. I can tell you, and I have had a long converse with my daughter, who is a medical doctor. One of you, she born right here, and she went to the corporate school outside, and she right here, she grew up with everybody here. And she warns against this vaccine, that we should not be careless and rely on this so-called testing vaccines that we don't know what the side effects are. Now, if you walk into any pharmacy, you will see that there's a number of drugs. And when you read the direction, it has to have some direction or it cannot be on the shelf. When you read the direction, it has to show you, it will show you the side effects of the drug that you're taking. It will show you that. If you're pregnant, if you have heart conditions, if you have them, do not take this drug. Because it's going to affect you worse than what you're taking it for. And therefore, we need to be very careful. So far, we have survived with the social distancing, with keeping out of the bars and the rum shops that people get careless, take off their mask, and while they're talking, they're spitting and coming out. You know, when a man drunk, what happens? He will walk up to a lamppost and knock down the lamppost, knock down, open the door. And people see him on the side of the road, knocking down the lamppost, open the door. And they said, man, why are you making all this noise in the neighborhood? He said they have light upstairs and they have to open the door with a lamppost. Because he's drunk. And you don't want to put yourself in a state of mind where you also become drunk and think that because there is light upstairs, somebody living upstairs, at the chimney it's going to clog up your mind. And so you want to stay away from these drugs, these spliff that a person pass, and before when you smoke a spliff and you pass it to your partner and you pass it to your partner, and you're not observing the rules that would supposedly protect you. Now there are differences in terms of schools of thought, but I stay with what is in the Quran. And Allah says, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, what is going to hit you will not pass you. And what has passed you was never going to hit you. And nothing can happen in the heavens and the earth unless it has Allah's permission. And then we go to the simplicity of believing in Allah will tie a camel. Well, many camels has run away in sandstones, so that is not the remedy. The remedy is your own personal responsibility to, as much as possible, observe the normal, not the abnormal, the normal rules and conditions that will ensure your continued health and safety. At the moment, there are, let me go back. I am telling you, and the data is there, that when and if this COVID is finished, first of all, if I've had malaria already, I went from Ghana, I was in Ghana, and I went to Guinea-Conakry to see Stokely Michael 2 weeks before he died. Rawlins, who was the president, chartered a plane for us, and we went to see Stokely Michael in Guinea-Conakry before he died. This is outrageous what they had at the hospital. And Guinea-Conakry is the producer of diamonds and golds and all kinds of minerals. And what the quality of the health service was horrendous. Yeah. However, when I left the place, I got malaria. And when I got back to the hospital, to the hotel, the attendants gave me some, what is called neem. It's all over. We have very common in Trinidad, something called neem. I never used to walk without my, never, for 28 years. When I pack in a suitcase, I have shilling oil in it and big marginal. Always shilling oil and big marginal. And the other drug that is very good for your immune system. I will tell you just now. And I rubbed down with the blanket, I sweat out, I wet, rubbed down with the blanket, sweat out, they give me the next dose again. And by 11 o'clock when we were ready to leave, I changed 3 suits of clothes that was done. And alhamdulillah, I was able to get to the plane. We reached 4 o'clock in the morning in Ghana, in Conakry, and I went straight to the hotel kitchen and got some hot soup, very hot soup, and some more of this neem. I went to sleep until about 3 o'clock, and when I got up, alhamdulillah, the fever was gone. Alhamdulillah. So, I did not have any vaccine. I am sure there is a vaccine for yellow fever now. But if you create a vaccine for yellow fever, it's not going to work for malaria. Because it's 2 different things. Always a mosquito, the same mosquito have to bite you to give you malaria or yellow fever. A mosquito. But the contents of the drug is different. The contents of this drug was made for the COVID-19. The COVID-19 now has at the moment they say that I don't have the data, I'm going merely by what I see on the TV. There's about 3 different variants of the drug, of the thing. It is mutated. To mutate means to change. So the original virus does not change to something else. And anybody here know about pharmaceuticals? Anybody here who know about gardening? Know that if you spray your garden, after a while, the pests will go to the lab and then they come back in 2 weeks and ask for you spray. It's no use. You have to change it. And maybe after the next 2 weeks you have to change it. You have to rotate. Because they develop an immune system to the spray, and that is it. So your best bet is really your immune system. Because every human being, your body has an immune system to fight off viruses. There's always viruses. Those who are well are those whose immune system are strong and well enough to fight off these viruses. And therefore, do not destroy your kidneys and your bladder and your liver with alcohol, because your whole immune system will break down. The body is we ask sometimes for a miracle, but you are the miracle. You yourself is a miracle. The body is in itself a miraculous work of Allah. I drink a whole lot of sorrow this week. Alhamdulillah, I like sorrow. But be careful, they don't put a lot of sugar in it. But if your children have worms, the green sorrel, you can just boil it and give them to drink. The worm is gone without any side effects. The green sorrel, even the red one, I think will work your joint very strong, and you give it to the children with no sweetening, and the worms will disappear. I had a lot of sorrow this week, and I went to the Imam, and I saw no sign of red coming out of the system. But I put red in my system, and what goes in has to come out. Where did the red disappear? The color red. Where did it disappear? That the urine came out clear, white. That is the miracle of your body. That is how magnificent this work of Allah is. This human body. And this human body, I always say, if Allah had put your nose upside down, every time rainfall you drown. And there are inbuilt things in your human system that sometimes we destroy. Sometimes we shave off the eyelash. You shave off the eyelash, which is a protection for you, to trap the dust that will normally bypass your eyelids and get into your eye. And maybe after a while some virus is in that and you can't see, and then you have cataract. Nobody is born with cataract. When you shave off your eyebrows, you shave off your eyebrows completely. And you cut your eyelids and you have two big set of eyelids. When you close your eye, you can't open back. You have to fall asleep. Because the eyelids that you put on so heavy, your eye, because of the mechanism, don't have the strength to open back up. So if you are to open back up, you are trapped to open up. Some of you sisters, you're crazy. You pass crazy. You shave off the protection that Allah has given you to put something false. That is part of your immune system. And sometimes we cut off the hair in your nostrils. Why are you doing that? The hair in your nostrils trap dust. Trap dust and virus from getting in where you breathe. So when you make wudu, you take this index, this last finger, and you always wash your nose. Now we do that 400 and something years ago. Now they find out that you have to make wudu. I've heard them say, no, wash your hands and your face. I've never heard anybody say, put your finger and wash inside, because the dust gets trapped in there by the hair that is in there. I deliberately put it there to trap the dust. All that is the miraculous work of the human being by Allah. And so when we take these needles and we stick them all over the body and put tattoos all over the body, you weaken your immune system. Because where you put the tattoo is where all your perspiration is supposed to come out, and sometimes you clog it up. And you need to sweat. Sweating is a cleansing period, a cleansing process, in fact. So much so that sometimes when you sweat, you taste the sweat, it tastes salt. Because your body has too much salt and will come through the sweat. For those of you who are diabetics, if your sugar level is too high, you will find yourself going regularly to the bathroom for urination. Because the body is washing out, flushing out the extra sugar by sending it out to the urine. So that's a clear indication that your sugar is too high. If you're going too often. Too many of us these days rely on these synthetic medicines. And every medicine that is on the shelf comes from some good, or maybe from the sea. There's the shark oil that will come from the sea, and there's all the other medications that will come from the herbs. Medications don't come from gold and diamonds, but we destroy ourselves to achieve gold and diamonds. We mash up the immune system to achieve gold and diamonds, and then we die. There are too many people these days who die from prostate cancer. There are people in this community who has prostate cancer. But there's early detection, because your urine begins to be malignant. It's slow. It starts to come slow, and from the time that starts to happen, deal with it right away. Because it is a very simple process. These two fingers are your urinary glands. The urine comes through here, through the middle of the urinary glands. These urinary glands, if they lack a certain nutrition from your body, they begin to swell. And the more they swell, the narrower the passage for the urine. Until finally they come together, and when they rub, the acidity that comes from the body with all that is the body is dispensing with, that don't want, that is bad, forms the cancer. So then they have to push this through there, and then put a catheter to take the water because there's no control. So look for early signs in everything. Look for the early signs in everything, so that you can stop it. When the people came to the Americas, they found that the people the Indians who, well, I don't know, Columbus called them Indian because you don't different between East and West. He said them is East Indian. Columbus had no knowledge of geography. He was just following the map of Marco Polo, a Portuguese. And the Portuguese were the worst of the colonial masters. They were worst. I've been to Angola and Mozambique, and you see the destruction of people. Thank God there were men who lived like Fidel Castro, who was able to assist in the liberation of Angola, militarily and with doctors and things like that. But These are the people who ended up in Brazil. They are mortal enemies of the Jews because Portugal is just a small village, a 15 village. But Marco Polo, he developed the compass and he was able to find new lands. When they start robbing them on the sea, then they hired the Chinese to protect them on the sea. And they gave the Chinese an island that they developed. And it's called, it was a gambling island. And Macau, the island was called Macau, and it was famous for gambling, just like for the Asians, it was there, Las Vegas. And a couple of years ago, maybe 10 years ago, the Chinese government stopped. Too many government officials were gambling and getting into corruption because of that, and they stopped. The island was called Macau, and it was given to them because of the protection for the Portuguese. Well, because they had a small population, the Jews used to follow them. And wherever they go, the Jews would capitalize because of their skill in manipulations with money. And so there's a long-standing grudge between the Jews and the Portuguese. So much so that on a particular game, Ronaldo was playing against Israel, and it is a custom, it is a football custom, international, that when the game is over, if it's a friendly or whatever, you exchange jerseys, so you keep that. And when they came for Ronaldo's jersey, he refused to give his jersey to the Israelis, because he knows his history. And he carried that. This is Ronaldo talking about a couple of years ago, one of the best footballers that we've ever seen. But he knows his history. We don't know ours. We don't know ours. You read our textbooks and we see nothing about Hannibal. Hannibal crossed the Alps with the elephants. We see nothing about Shaka Zulu, the most feared warrior that ever contested the colonial masters. And it is not in our textbooks. So we don't have anything for motivation and for inspiration. And that's why Muhammad Ali, Allah be pleased with him and forgive him his sins on the day of judgment, was such a great man. Because he left a legacy. This is very important, what I'm going to say to you now. He left a legacy. He left something to be followed that is positive and that is good. We have heard that there are many Africans died from this COVID in America. America is the worst, and then, of course, Brazil, the Portuguese in Brazil. And a lot of these Africans went to foreign lands and killed people who did nothing to them. Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya. We can keep counting. Africans left the United States and went into the military and killed all these people who did nothing to them. And this Muhammad Ali said, I'm not doing that. I cannot use the same toilet like you. I can't be served in the same restaurant like you. But I can go overseas to kill somebody who has done nothing to me. And they say, you either do that or you go on. And they stripped him of his crown, the world heavyweight. How many of us would have given up the world heavyweight title? And all the money that goes with it. And imprisonment. Finally, he won as a conscientious objector. And it ended the draft. The draft is that when you're 18 years old, they come and knock on your door and they put you in the army, willingly or unwillingly. And usually you went into the Marines. The Marines are the people with the boots on the ground. The Marines are the people who get blown up. The Marines are the people in front. The other people, the cream of the crop or the higher echelons in the American society, they're never in the Marines. You don't see no Marines with no purple hat. Now, they're on the sea. If they have to do the service, the 2-year service, they and the boats and the navy, when no harm could come to them, because they're surrounded by submarines, and then the ships are so big they have jets that could fly off and protect them. And all the Puerto Ricans and the Africans are in front, on the ground, the boots on the ground getting killed. So if today is here, a large number of them getting killed, maybe it's just a lot paying them back for what they've done. Because they could have done like Muhammad Ali. They could have done like and be a conscientious objector and lose whatever they have to lose. None of them would have lost the amount of things that Muhammad Ali lost, including his imprisonment and his taking away his title as the world heavyweight champion. But he has left a legacy, and that is the draft stop. So now you want to voluntarily go in the army, they can't just come and take care of their son again. And that is when you have lived. When your legacy can be followed as a positive part of this society. And these people sitting here, these Jummu'ah Muslims sitting here, I was praying my Qiyam al-Layl the other night and Tahajjud and Witr prayer. And I think that, I'm coming to the end of my life. I will die soon. I don't have any money in the bank. I don't have a banking account. I don't have any lavish lifestyle that demands money. But when I die, I would have left a legacy of resistance. I would have left a legacy of defiance. I would have left a legacy of pushback. That they could only push us so far. And so maybe my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren will find themselves in a situation where they have to push back. And then they read the annals of history and say, my grandfather pushed back. And he lived, he survived, he defeated his enemies. He regained his land because this land was occupied by the military, police and the army, occupied. Go outside and see if you see them. Every Friday, the older ones, they will, by now, 2 police, straight jeep forming here, mash up the Jummu'ah. That will never happen again. And Allah knows best. Inshallah. Because we, by our sacrifice, has left a legacy. By our sacrifice, we refuse to surrender occupation. We refuse to surrender to what could we consider military might as compared to how many of us, 114. Of course, that's not only who participated, because there were the women outside who had to struggle. And you get people making some snide remarks that my son is driving a big car and he's driving a base. Well, I will have you know that my children grew up right here. I was living right here. With all the bad boys, all, everybody, everything that took place when we were in charge of the street, everything that took part It was right here. And they're born right here. They're born here. Right there in this compound here, some of them they're born. And yesterday my son was driving and we were talking, and I went to visit Oliver and Sardis and you know, during Khutba we used to stay up there one time and we used to eat sardine and rice. While we were in jail, we used to eat sardine and rice. So if today you see them with a little piece of meat, be careful, because they ate sardine and rice when the father was in jail on numerous occasions. And the mother stayed. That is the legacy that we want to leave. We want to leave when we pass. We want to leave something that the young people coming behind can emulate. And be strong and be defiant, because we're still enslaved. We are like the Jews. This is our second enslavement. The Jews were released from bondage by Allah through Moses, peace be upon him. This is very important. Listen to what I'm going to say. If you are a slave, you are a slave to a master whose philosophy you think is superior to yours. I will repeat that. If you have been enslaved, then you believe that the one who colonized you or the one who enslaved you is superior to you. And therefore you want to emulate them in order to rise to their level of superiority in order to lift yourself. And that is a mistake. That is a big, big, big mistake. Their cultural values become your cultural values. The jacket and the tie and the way you speak, and you want to eat with a knife and fork. I had a very embarrassing situation once with an individual who was a very prominent person in a society where I live. And I was invited to this home, and of course there was objection to my association with one of his relatives. His main relative. When it came time to eat lunch, I washed my hands, and I made wudu, and I washed my hands and made my prayer, thanking Allah. How many of us sit down every day and eat and forget to thank Allah? Oh Allah, we thank Thee for this meal that Thou hast provided, and then after it, and hope that everybody else all over the world, because all over the world people suffering, starving, ask Allah. After that, oh Allah, I thank Thee for this meal that Thou hast provided here for us, and hope that everybody else over the world is also provided with a meal so that they too can thank Thee for Your blessings. Add that. And you have to do what I did. That's my own personal dua. Everybody, you can make any dua they want to Allah. And when you finish it, say Alhamdulillah. Praise be to Allah who has fed us. How many of you do neglect that simple sunnah? Kids can just keep Islamic sunnahs simple. Keep the simple sunnahs. So they enslaved the Jews. And then Allah sent Moses speaks be upon him. And Allah freed the Jews. He took them out of bondage from Pharaoh. And then for 40 years. Moses went up on the mount when he freed them, because if you are enslaved by someone, you are enslaved by their philosophy. What they think of you. And to them, we were less than human beings. Up to today, they still think so. And not of me. Anybody know me know they can't think that of me at all, because I know who I am. And if you dare attempt to deal with me on the basis of that level, I will push back. I have the ability to, I have the knowledge to, and I have the will to, which is the will of Allah. So you better leave me alone. And you just say, forget it, leave me alone. Is that something you're doing in interfere with? You know? Everyone that you sit in here, there are some things and some people you don't interfere with. You see that, better leave that alone. So Moses went up to the mount. This is very important. I'm going to close, but I'm going to close. I hope that I will close your mind to all this filth and garbage that they put in our mind. Moses freed the Jews. Allah freed the Jews through Moses, peace be upon him. Notice that we are very different to all the other religions. And that is, we, those of us who are Muslims, know respect. We want to respect others. At the highest level, at the highest of human level, we respect each other. We do not ever mention a name of a prophet without saying, peace and blessings be upon him. The Jews and the Christians and all these Sabians and all these hypocrites and all these, when they mention Muhammad, peace be upon him, they never say peace and blessings be upon him. But we would never mention Moses, Elijah, Jacob, Yusuf, Job, Jonah. Anytime we mention the name of any one of Allah's prophets, we say, by our superiority of human respect, peace and blessings be upon them. That is how respectful we are as a people. So a Muslim is very respectful. Starting at the highest level of human existence, the prophets, whenever we mention their name, we say peace and blessings be upon them. We don't just say peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So as a Muslim, learn to be respectful. Be respectful to others, especially those who are your elders. Be respectful to those who have less than you in worldly things. So the man who cleans the garbage, give him the same human respect as the man who says he's a doctor. Because the doctor will die if the man don't pick up the garbage. Be respectful to the farmer, the one who works the garden and toil in the sun with the hoe. As the one who's a politician, because you're going to die if this man don't give him food to eat. I'm going to repeat this every Friday as long as I'm on this member. Be the one you want to be. Be the person that you want to see. Be the philosophy you want to see. Live the way you want to see your children and your grandchildren live. Be what you would want to be. It starts with you. So Moses goes up to Allah and says, now you set the people free and they're out of the bondage. What do I do? And I say, wash their minds clean. Wash their minds clean of the laws and the philosophy and culture that oppress them. What did he say to Moses? Wash their minds clean of the philosophy, the ideas, and the thinking the attitudes and the behavior of those who colonized you. Don't emulate them. You never seen me. I've ever been now 46 years. You never seen me wear a tie. Never. It's easiest way to get choked, you know. All I'm going to do is put one end and put it next and it could choke you. But the culture says that you only properly dress if you have a tie. A culture that is alien to us. We didn't even have clothes as slaves. A short pants. They wouldn't give you enough clothes to make a long pants, a short pants. And no belt, so your pants dropping down behind your waist. You are not jockey shorts there. No, put them the other state there giving you no jockey shorts, so you're exposed. So Moses, Allah says to Moses, change the laws that they lived by. That's the religion. The laws, the philosophy, the ideas, and the cultures that was of their colonial master who enslaved them, change that. And I'm going to give you a new set of rules, the 10 Commandments. Unless you break the chain of those who colonize you, unless you still think that you only properly dress if you have a tie, unless you still feel that if you eat with a knife and fork, then your culture, you are crazy. You were still enslaved. So this man, I sat down to eat with his table, and then I washed my hands, and I began to eat with my hand, and it was a lamb. I was a friend of his daughter, and he took umbrage. This is a barbarian. This is some backwards man from some maybe Congo somewhere. So we do this man in my house for, you know his my name? And he was a powerful man. Very, very powerful man in society. So he said, well, what is this? I said, well, I meet him. He said, why do you think I said, because it's your hands you eat with. He said, no, people don't eat with their hands. I said, huh? Who said that? He said, people don't eat with their hands. I said, yeah. I said, let me see you eat without your hands. Let me see you eat without your hands. He said, this is modern day, this is cutleries and the silver. I said, let me see you eat without your hand. So he took up the knife and fork. I said, where's that in your hand? The cutlery, he says, the cutlery. You ain't in your hand. I said, put on the cutlery and eat without your hand. Let the cutlery take your foot and tell the cutlery eat with your foot. I said, also you are a philosopher, eh? Because when his hand is criminal, the cutlery is doing nothing. But that culture, that is a culture, and that they think, that he thought was superior to me. And I have to show him that your superiority is based on a false notion that really, if you're going to eat with your hand, you eat it with not the cutlery. Because the cutlery by itself can't eat. You have to take it up with your hand, so it's your hand that you're going to use to eat. And so we fall into this trap of this false notion that because these people enslaved us, their culture, their thinking, their philosophy is better than us. And we're stuck in the church. We're stuck in the same philosophy. So when they come out, when people say you're different, then you know you're on the road. If people are, everything alright, there's a good boy and a pat you on your shoulder, you off, man. You ain't close to Islam. Anytime you're close to Islam, they say you're different. Of course you're different. You're making wudu for 400 years ago, we're making wudu and washing hands and face, and they now find out they have to do that. So who is superior in culture? Who is superior? And then Moses said, this is the law that we're going to live by. But there's not some of us who insist that Pharaoh was better. The God of Pharaoh was better than the God that set them free. So they made, hear this. And you want to hear it before, but this is Islam is a reminder. I want to say this because today I want to take your money. Because I have a light bill here, a surprise. I wanted them to cut it because they were cutting the $67,000 for the water, and they said they coming to cut it. And here we get away. Allah is the Akbar. They have a leak outside. The connection have a leak. So we get away from the cut. So they say they're going to fix the leak. And we have to come in and make arrangement to pay $67,000. People send water like lamb brush all over the place, or pipe running all over the place. And you're not going to pay, you have to pay for it because they have a meter. How are you going to make wudu when you come here? I was hoping they cut it out this week, but Allah intervened. Here how Allah intervened. When they come to cut it, we say we argue this, we count the amount of money, they say something wrong somewhere. So they began to check to see if they have extra connection somewhere, if this connected to that and that. And then they realized the connection was leaking. Their connection had nothing to do with us. So that gave us a blind, if you want to call it that. And they said, we're going to fix the leak, come in and make arrangement to pay, and we will arrange something because of the leak. Because the leak is their fault, not ours. Look how merciful Allah is. Look how great Allah is. Allah is dead with 67,000. They'll be making wudu down by the car wash. But they have a separate meter. But they're going to cemetery and make wudu. And by the time you come across it, you break wudu halfway, and then you have to go back somewhere, you don't keep your wudu too long. So why you cross in the road, you break your wudu and you go back. And when you cross in the road, you go back. By the time you finish, we share with the wudu, the Jummu'ah done. I'm going to ask you for some money today. And I will start taking it from here because you could do that. Islamically, yeah, I could take all the money, whatever duty to the poor. Whatever duty for them, take it, I'll back a city. I get a call for that, and now they can't find me. You've got to charge a lot. I make a sermon on this member here, and they charge me. This is 7, 9 years ago. Up and now they can't find me. You've got to charge her. I mean, I'm talking about zakat. Zakat is Allah law. How are you going to charge Allah? And carry before the court. So, me and my husband is 10, 12 years dying. But I was talking about zakat. About feeding the poor. About helping those who are in need. Coming that close now. So Moses, when he came down, you know what they did? They take the gold. Everybody who had gold, who hide the gold from Pharaoh and things, they take the gold and they made a calf, Isis, which Pharaoh used to worship as his god. So they feel that the god of Pharaoh is superior to them. That's why they were enslaved. That is the problem we have. That's our problem. We feel that those who enslaved us were superior to us. So their God, of course, had to be more powerful than our God, the all-seeing, the all-knowing, and the all-wise. 99 names, 99 attributes. They only have what, 3. God has zeus, God has this and that. For their, at most they have 10 different God. Hindus too have 200 and something. How much do they have? But if gods were strength, then as soon as you do the amount of gods they had, you just heal them and go away. But numbers is not strength. Time is strength. And that's why Allah said, you learn, Qul huwa Allahu ahad. But when you say that Allah is one. He don't need no partner and he don't need no son to help him. So Moses come down and meet them worshiping the calf, that they build. Now them build the pyramids with mud, and stone and grass. Moses also walked to when he went to release them. So they're the masters in architecture. To put these blocks, to build these pyramids, and to put these tombs and things. They were good at that. But when they come to make the God, they make the God out of gold. Money is the God. Money is the God up to this day. And that's why they call them the one name, so they don't have a place to live. And then after Allah showed His mercy, Allah kept them 40 years in the desert wandering. So the old ones would die out. Moses killed, in the Bible they say 300 and something, I don't know the right figure, figuratively it could be wrong, but he killed hundreds of them who made the calf. Allah didn't take away his prophecy from him. He didn't cease to become a prophet because he killed them for worshipping a false god. Allah left him and then instituted the 10 Commandments which we should follow. As Muslims, they're binding on us. The 10 Commandments is also binding on us. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not, the first one, thou shalt not worship any god, thou shalt have no other grave images of me. First one, Qul huwallahu ahad. First of the 10 Commandments. Same Shahada. And as it comes down, the same thing. Except when it comes to, the implementation of the zakat, they do it different. We know we have to pay 2.5% zakat, they just put their money in a hat. And they throw it up in the air. And they say, what's there is allowed and what come down is below. They change that. They change up everything and after them, no fish. One day in the week, do not catch any fish because they need to procreate the species, they need to multiply. So don't catch them on that day, leave them. They set the net overnight. So why the next day they say we ain't catching no fish, but they set the night to catch the fish. And Allah said to them, be like apes. And I said, the Jews is monkeys. They didn't Quran. Be like apes. They're monkeys. So they went back. Moses did not see the promised land because they had no land. Up to now, they will never rest where they are. And finally, they get enslaved. They say, we're free. We are following no book. Forget 10 Commandments. And that's how they arrive at this Zionism. They stop following that, and then Allah re-enslave them. That's our position right now. We've been re-enslaved. The poverty, the destitution, the work. Allah said they kill the young men and leave the women. You want me to read it for you? And they killed the young men and left the women alive. Not same thing today? Every day they just kill the youths and the women outside the put children. The exact re-enslavement. How many children growing up without no father? No mentor? No example? That's how they grow up. They have a place in Barbados named one of the provinces, parishes called Studley Farm. You know what a stud? A stud is a male horse. And that's how we used to live. They keep the women there and they get the big strong ones like, well, not me, I ain't so big and strong like Yasin. Jummu'ah, big strong ones. And they should just take these big strong ones to beat the slaves, to beat the women so they get big strong slaves. They don't have no marriage and no home life and things like that. That slavery didn't have that. You just breed the slaves, breed them and breed them and breed them and breed them. And we're still doing that. We're still breeding the women, not looking after the children. We're not even now we're doing that. I almost knock off a man here who's supposed to know better, and he said, you're not going to jail, and he went in jail, you don't mind the child, that he's so that seed. Look how many men they have in jail for maintenance. What the hell they doing? You're not minding your children in jail, right? You're not minding your children while you're outside. But they put you in jail. It's called simple imprisonment, so they can't make you work in jail. And then I have to take my taxpayers' money and mind you, who don't want to mind your children, because you have to get 3 meals a day and you have to get a place to sleep. So how does that make any sense? And the Attorney General for Salvary, instead of letting out all these men, let them clean up the hospital in a dilapidated state, the place stink all over, the schools can't get repaired. For them to work and then take the money and give the children back. Take some of the money and give it to the children. That's the only thing that makes sense. But how you don't want to feed your own children when you're outside, but you went in jail for me to feed you who's a big man. But what am making sense? The guy got obtained today, in the jail. How said the people? Even my brother from here, I go talk to him no more. When he say, I go to jail, he went to jail. And when you go to jail, you don't have to pay the money that you owe in the child, And then we have to take the old taxes and get some kind of welfare to that. Take you. Look now. But I ain't doing it. All that is part of slavery. So then, they throw away the book, like how we throw away the book. We stop praying Salah, we drinking, we gambling, we doing all the negative things, selling drugs, we involved in everything. And then you can't say you're a Muslim when you're doing that, so they became Zionists. They say they're Zionists. Then Allah enslaved them again in Babylon. Babylon is Iraq. And the king was Nebuchadnezzar, a wicked man. But the greatest empire was the Persian Empire, which is Iranians, they're Persians, right? And the greatest of the King Cyrus, he defeated Nebuchadnezzar, and he set the Jews free. He freed them. He was the second Moses for them, Cyrus, the greatest of the Persian kings. He set the Jews free. So they're waiting for me to come now, and I was Cyrus, I don't know why I have to go ahead, Even though I don't know police and army and we in this land, So you the young ones who come in, you want to step up to the plate. And don't come to the plate with your knife and fork or your spoon alone, or your hand. Bring something when you come in, you put in the plate that you come into. Bring something to the dining table. You young women, go and take the course that is available, because they will have endless mad women and men when this COVID finishes. You go see the amount of mentally deranged people. You can't put them in my house, because they're not crazy. But they're mentally deranged. The effect that it has had on them. And even some children. So we need special care. Who will provide this special care? Is the government training anybody? So I tell any young sister, you all act together. One learn psychiatric, one learn some kind of psychiatric nursing. You may be opportunities for you and men too, because there are a lot of men, a lot of men don't go mad already with this COVID. They go mad. Beating women in the head with hammer. Police and army says there's a party shooting and killing one another. They go mad. So all this is on your shoulder, all this on your back, And you're putting it off, if you're struggling it off, and as you see, if one of their judgment, you don't have the answer for it. The other answer, what did you do about it? We are a little past our weakest step. We really, after 1990, they destroyed everything, and so we're in a rebuilding process. And I have to tell you, this week at working, I saw some things this week, and I could see the rebuilding process. About 3 people came to me this week to solve problems that they normally would not have had before. That's what we used to do. We used to solve problems. So we used to look for us as leaders, for leadership, because we solve the problems. As part of being a leader is to solve the problems. That's what Revelation is about. Allah revealed to the prophet, you have a problem, this is the way to deal with it. You have a problem, this is the way you deal with it. So, today I'm asking you to dig deep in your pocket and see what we could do about that. Allah spared us, otherwise we don't have water today. Just by telling you, they came to cut it off, you know. And we said, we said something wrong, we questioned the number. And so let me see. They look at the thing, well, there's some holes going on in the back, they say that, wrong connection, we lock up people for that. I know we make some excuse, this, that, somebody else come washing there every day. And then finally in front of there, where the stop pork is, it leaking, that's their stop pork. Otherwise you won't get water today. So we use that as the catalyst to get away from cutting off. So I don't know if they come and fix it. They said they will come and fix it, and then we should come in and make some arrangement to pay whatever is due. So do your part today. We're not going to rebuild this structure unless we have water. This human structure needs water. You are yourself water. You are yourself a sperm, water. Water is the source of all life. Without water, you die. There's more water than land and the earth. And if you don't have water is very important for us. Because we have to make wudu. And especially in a time like this where it's so important to keep yourself and your health. Very important. So, again, I close by reminding you of your personal responsibility where this COVID is concerned. And don't just rush in and take no vaccine. So far you're living without the vaccine. If you keep pleasing Allah, you will not need the vaccine. But everybody will die, the whole world will die, you know. We will die. Everybody has closed their mosque. I went in one mosque and the mosque locked up. Until further notice, they mark that. I take a little picture of it on your phone. Closed until further notice in Florida. Mosque closed. These doors will never close. How many will close a mosque for Friday? When Allah said, and when the call is made to pray on Friday, leave your trade, leave your business, and come to the remembrance of the Lord. How you get punished for that? How you get COVID if you do that? Allah don't punish you for obeying Him. Allah is punish you for disobeying Him. And if you didn't even come to the mosque and you're obeying Allah, why would He punish you? So I close by reminding you of your personal responsibility to, for your health reasons, do not destroy your immune system by alcohol and by drugs and by things that you should not put into your things. Try as much as possible to keep away from all these synthetic medicine. There are all kind of bush. I'm a bush doctor. There are all kind of bush. Come ask me if we have a problem with bush. Come ask me. I'm a kind of bush doctor myself. You know what you do. Because people live. My mother was a bush doctor at 14 and she lived until she was 99 years and 5 months. They didn't have no pharmacy at that time. And she never went to the hospital, no directly delivered 14 children with no cesarean. Them doctors just cutting you now, like if you're a proper you're the thing. Them is butcher because every time they cut you, it's more money. If you make a baby by normal means, you'll be alright. But once they cut you, it's 200,000, they're dead. So it's money. How come my mother had made 14 children? With no cesarean? And one of the women out there, I made one said, me? You want me to dead if I make one? Same thing with brothers. Next couple months is Ramadan. Boy, you have to fast. Do all the thing yesterday, I do all the fast, Monday and Tuesday. are preparing. Islam is preparing before you come in, you make wudu, you have to prepare. Do a little fast. You want to wait until Ramadan time, you dive, bam, you dive into the deep end and you can't swim, you go drown. Go in the shallow end first and take a little thing and learn to hold on to something and beat up your foot. When Ramadan comes, then somebody push you in the water, you go swim. But don't wait until Ramadan comes to do a little day fast, do a little day fast. Prepare yourself from now, do a little week, 2 days a week, Monday, Thursday, if you can, or 1 day. But prepare yourself so that when you get thrown in the deep end, you can swim. I want to tell you, you want to do, I tell you, you are supposed to tell you, you want to finish? I want to tell you, I'm going to tell you, we should tell you, I tell you everything, for it good, to our good. We're the leaders of humanity. We're not going to follow what people have to emulate us. Allah says in the Quran, they will come to you and say, give us a light from your light. So where is the light of the heavens? Where is the light? With the Lord. With the little flicker in the niche. Instead of that, we're going to them to get light. When we're supposed to have the brightest light. Never had them little 350 bulb or some kind of thing. We lights is supposed to be shining brighter than any other light they have. At the moment, we use the LED lights. The brightest lights now they have is the LED. We're supposed to surpass LED. With light in the darkness. And then Mr. that we have, they hear, and they're still doing them. And they will start pulling you up as parents. Because you know what is being said is true. Because they have a heart that is open and still clean. And they hear what doing. And when they're going to see you are up here and doing something different. You're not coming to Jummu'ah. You're drinking alcohol. You're smoking cigarette. You're outside by the bar. You're trying to pull you up. I don't want to sit over there today. I was going to sit down and sleep. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today, make a special contribution. But Aziz, you're responsible, and I'm holding you responsible. So you better be responsible. You will collect the money today for the water, you want thing, and we'll see whatever we get, we'll see what we could do to make a compromise and pay some kind of thing this week before they cut the water. Right? Allah spare us. I put in a leak. Then I leak before when Allah realized to cut the water. I said, nah, one is servants to go. So he put a leak out there with me, and they're responsible for that leak, not us. So they tell us to come in and make some agreements, and I want to say Jazakallah. Jazakallah khair, I mean, great thanks be to Allah. The brothers who made contribution. We have now gotten almost all the laptops or whatever we need, the tablets for the children, and they may be just short of a few, but praise be to Allah. Allah, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, you will get all the good that you have done. And there is no reward for good other than good. Once you've done something good, you will get the reward for that. There is no reward for good other than good. So you cannot do something that is good and get a bad reward. So, all of you who contributed for the children and for your future, what are you working for? You're working to see that your children, grow up as Muslims and Allah will make them prosper. Because the parents do what Allah wants you to do, your children will prosper. What else you doing? You want to go to jail and you remind me of your children. That's a slave mentality. That is the mentality of a slave. Whatever you want to do to look after your children, don't depend on nobody. Don't say you can't get no unemployment. Go and look at the fall. The fall had 12 chickens, right? And the fall waited for nobody to feed them before carrying the chickens all about and scratching and saying, look, you find something here, the ones here. And the mother alone, most times the mother alone carrying these 12 chicks and scratching. Don't depend on what they eat, you know. They got food on the ground. And she would scratch, and so at the end of the day they would live. The birds have no backs. They don't pay no interest. But every day they go to sleep, they know that Allah promised He will provide for them next day they'll eat. And the lizard will crawl on the ground and he finds his food. And who's human, who's Allah's best creation? You lost your job, you're unemployed. Who employs the bird? Who is the employer of the birds? The babies. Who employs them? Which union represents them? Who they depend on to feed them and the children? Themselves. So don't tell me about you unemployed, you was working, you lost your job. You have an excuse, you have your 2 hands, you have your 2 foot, and you have your brain. You're using your brain for different things, use your brain. And don't tell me, I got, well, good enough, again, I will hammer it in the ears every Friday. Good is not good enough if it could be better. And better is not good enough if it could be the best. And the best. So we're not settling for being good. We're not settling for being better. We only settle when we are the best. And excellence should not be an occasion. On one occasion we do something good and look excellent. Excellence should be a habit. You should make it a habit to do things that are excellent. Make it a habit. Excellence should be a habit. I'm going to put it on your head every Friday. Until you become the best that you can. All of you, every single one of you, you are in quarter of what you're capable of. Not even a quarter, not even a fraction, not even a third, not even 1/8 of what you could be. None of you sitting here have exhausted the maximum capability and capacity to do things that you have. None, man and woman, upstairs and downstairs. None of you have exhausted yourself. That is called ishtihad. You exhaust yourself where you can't do no more, you fall down. When that's not you fall down by striving. Not one of you make an effort while you fall down by striving. Because you strive so hard or you can't do nothing. Because when you fall, I never try you, you know. But why are not trying you when you could walk? So next week, those of you who have a quarter, come back here with half. Because you have to improve by a quarter next week Friday. Those of you who have a half, come back with 3/4. And those who have 3/4, come back maximum. Come back at your maximum and know that last week past you do everything possible to improve the quality of your life. Everything that was possible. You sleep less, you get up in the night, you pray, leave your wife in the bed. She always there. That is important. Say like the woman who got up in the middle of the night and she says, oh Allah, the stars are now come out. Lovers are now in their beds with their loved ones. And then she says, this is Tahajjud time. And then she says, and kings have shut their doors because they want to make sure that they're secure. But I am here before you at your mercy, pleading. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Allah loves those who forsake the bed at night and come before him. Be one of those. Every one of you here, every one of you, make that an intention now, that for at least one day this week, one night this week, after 12 you get up and make tahajjud. You go make 2 rakats and then make 1 for witr. And you go make any amount, odd number is with. But this week, make that an intention now. I'm holding you to know. Don't come back in this mosque next week. Don't come back unless you get up one night this week and you got to have to declare I'm alive. Make that extra prayer. Leave the wife in the bed. She will still sleep if you leave the bed. And when you get up to man, if the man want to get up, leave him there. And they are just going to allow you with him. Or you might say right there and there. So everybody make an intention that this week you're going to make at least one night. I just here, ask my wives. So you will meet me praying with you. Right? Now we tighten up this spirituality. We start getting a lot of pleasure. We start, getting all where we used to be. We used to run this town. We used to be in charge of this place. Now we grant charge. But no grant charge now. We're not in charge anymore. So we're going right back. We throw away the grant and we keep in the charge. In charge. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت إبراهيم وعلى إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم إني ظلمت نفسي ظلما كثيرا ولا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت فاغفر لي مغفرة من عندك وارحمني إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم ومن يطع الرسول فقد تعالى إن الله كل شيء قدير إن ينصركم الله فلا غالب لكم وأحسنوا إن الله يحب المحسنين واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر وأقيموا الصلاة